Alright, welcome to how to pick a lock if you haven't picked a lock before. To start off, we have one of the locks here, which is a single 6-pin lock. You can see through it, so you can actually practice on this and go ahead and learn from the start. I will also be picking in this video how to pick just a random lock that I just found online. And this has around 4 pins. So this has the keys, just to make sure that they open and they're not loose. Keys go in there, open the lock. And as you can see a little closer, the keys go in there and their pins lift up the key pins into the right position. Pins on the top that you see right there are the driver pins, and that happens to push the key pins down away from the center cylinder where you put the key in. So just see it again, you can slowly see the pins going up, and it perfectly gets an inline, and that's the inline motion that you want. And some locks are different, sometimes they have a little bit more, and etc, etc. But most basic locks don't have any of those features. So there are 2 ways that I learned how to pick a lock. This is the simple lock picking kit where you can pick this up for around 15 bucks, 20 bucks on websites for lock picking. There is other options if you don't have these, but essentially all you need is 2 tools. You need one tool to tension the lock, so to imitate the motion of that lock. So basically when the lock key goes in, you want something to imitate that turning motion, so you have a tensioner hook for that. They look like this. I'll be using a smaller hook for these locks. So these kits come with those different sizes. Some locks are smaller, some locks are bigger in the keyway. So this is a little smaller, so I'm using smaller for that one. They also come with different rakes. We have 2 types of rakes here. The ones that are wiggly and almost look like washcloths, and then we have single pin rakes here. I'll be using a single pin rake for the beginning lesson. Essentially, what you want to do, and you can see this very well in the clear lock, you want to take these, this rake, and you want to individually hit every single pin. There are 6 pins, so you have to slot them into the right position while also having this as a tension tool in it. So I'm going to attempt to do that now. And take 1. Hopefully that is not going to be bad. If you want to position this, you have the top position over here, and you also have the bottom position. It's a little too small, so here's a bigger one. That one's also too small. So I have my force of tension. It doesn't have to be too much tension, just make sure that there's some. And then using this pin, you can kind of see me going in there and actually adjusting the locks. So I am now at, 1 second. So we're at the first pin right here. You can see me hitting that. And clearly there's no clicking there. So we're going to go to the second pin. There's some clicks there. Looks like we went a little far. And then we go to the third pin. That's in the right place. And then you go to the fourth pin, which is a little iffy. It's the little, oh, there we go. And then we go to the 5th pin, and 5th pin right there. And then finally the 6th pin, which they are all in place. Now we go back to the beginning and we do the same thing again until the lock magically opens. And each time you're putting more and more pressure on the tension tool so that this can actually turn open. We're doing it again. Nope, it looks like they reset. Now there's mostly online, and sometimes you just need to go a little bit more to get that micro or the key pins. So basically what you need to do these pinned locks is find the right pin to go into the door. And then it should just open up. So essentially when you are doing all these pins, they kind of click into place with the tension that I have on my thumb right now. And it's a little smaller, so that's why it clicks into place. And then just like that, you can open it, as you can see. Well, I only had almost a week, 2 weeks of practice, but the the more times that you do this, you can go ahead and get more better at it. Now that I've talked about the first way to pick a lock, we're going to talk about the second way. And the second way, I would say, is a little bit more, not lazier, but I would say it's more faster once you can do it well. And this will be the raking method. So that was the single pin method, going in and individually going into every single pin of there. This one is the raking method, so you can see that we have one of these raked little mustache. They have multiple types of peaks, and in those peaks they go in just like a key would, and you kind of just wiggle it around until you randomly set all of the points of in there. So you wiggle it around, you can see the pins are all just being wiggled. You just do a rocking motion back and forth, and then it should just come out and set itself to the right pins. And just like that, just with the raking, you can open the lock as the pin's set, just by wiggling it around in there. So, now that we've discussed the two ways to do it, I prefer the way that you single pin it. I would say you actually know for certain that you clicked the lock into the right place. So what's better than doing this with a random lock that I found on Amazon? You won't be able to see on the inside, but we will attempt to do it. It might take a little bit. And just like that, that lock is defeated, completely open. So I'm going to lock it again with the keys on the lock. That's what I usually do to entice myself. Put keys on the lock so you know it's not a fluke. And you have the tensioning tool. We'll do it with the rake this time. Tensioning tool in the same spot. And there are a multitude of locks online that you can practice on. And yeah. So I'm just going to rake it and see if it's easier. Most likely it will be, since you're just raking it. I'm going to lockpick this one more time, just to show you the two different methods. So we have slight tension just to turn it just a little bit. And there we have the raker. Just quickly go back and forth with it, as well as moving in and out to simulate the randomness of that key. I do feel it going down right now. And just like that. That's with raking. It only took us a little bit under 30 seconds. Oh, and we move on to single picking. Go ahead and do the same thing. This only has 4 pins. I only have to worry about for 4. So it's pretty much a big balance between the tension and how you pick it. You'll feel the locks as you go in. It's really good if you have a picture memory, virtual memory that you can actually virtually, like in your mind, feel the pins. So you can visually see it in your mind. Now, single pinning takes a little longer, but once you get really good at it, it takes a couple of seconds to do it. As with raking, it is really easy to do as a beginner. Since you're not really doing much, not thinking too much about the picks. Just like that. Using single pinning just like that. Yep. As you can see, that's how you lock pick a door. Lock pick anything. You can just use these 2 tools, or 3. Buy these pretty cheaply. Just these 3 usually is $5. This whole thing cost me around 15 to 20. 15 was on sale. So yeah, that's how you lock pick.